Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? I'm heading to work, man. It's technically my Friday Eve, but it's hump day. You dig? My work week ends tomorrow. And I get a 3-day weekend, man. Unless some bullshit pop off, but we hoping that I get my 3-day weekend, man. I think, I've said it before. We need 3-day weekends. I think that I always go. I think it's Switzerland that they do 3-day work weeks and 4-day work weeks. 3-day weekends, man. It is the hardest thing in the world trying to recuperate from a 5-day work week in 2 days, bro. You cramming so much. You cleaning on one day. Man. Everybody should be doing 4-day work weeks. And 3-day weekends, 3 days, 3 days to recuperate, man. You need that, man. We not motherfucking machines, and you need your rest, man. But peep game, I want to talk about something, and that's Jake Paul being elevated to top 20, top 15 status after beating Julio Cesar Chavez. And I'm like, man, listen, I always go back to saying this. Jake Paul, ain't no average nigga in the street gonna do nothing with no Jake or Logan Paul. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. You're not, but nah, them dudes can legitimately fight. Especially Jake, because I think Jake is taking it a lot more serious than Logan. Jake is consistently fighting. He's not fighting the best opposition available. There's always an asterisk to it, but he's consistently fighting. Your average dude is not doing nothing with Jake Paul in the street. Jake Paul could actually be a potentially mid-level amateur, you dig? He could. But to be top 20 as a cruiserweight, hell the fuck no. Especially off of beating a Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. who ain't did shit in years, bro. I don't think that these fights, I don't think he's scamming the people as far as, what's going on here? Okay, here we go. I don't think he's scamming people in the sense of staging his fights. I don't think he's doing that. I think he's as serious as he can be. He's as serious as he can be. I don't think he's staging fights. I don't think he's staging fights at all. Because if we being real, he doesn't need to. Because he's not fighting the quality opposition available. He's not fighting the best in the division has to offer. So there's no reason for him to stage the fights. There's no reason for him to do that. No reason to do that at all. But he is fighting opponents with asterisks to it, man. Just, his last fight with Mike Tyson, that was just, that was an epitome. Like, that was just pitiful. That was pitiful. And I think a lot of that shit ruined his stock as well. Because it's like, why are you doing this to, a 56-year-old, 55-year-old man, 56-year-old man like that? Or 58-year-old man? That ain't cool. Ain't cool at all, bro. Just this tight. This is an icon. This dude is a superhero to the American public. Not even just boxing fans. Everybody knew about Mike Tyson, dog. And you gonna go in there and do that shit to him and take advantage and exploit his old age? Nah, man. We can't give passes for that, my dude. We can't give passes for that. Before that, it was, the Ben Askren. Nate Robinson was the first one. It was just like, man. And we saw, like, I watched training footage of Nate Robinson, and that dude didn't know how to throw it. He didn't know how to throw no decent jab. He didn't know how to protect himself. He didn't know, like, these is basketball players, bro. Ben Askren was not no striker. Even in the UFC, he wasn't a striker. He was a grappler. Tyron Woodley was a little bit better than them dudes, but it's just levels when it comes to boxing. And even then, he took you to hell and back in the first fight. So it's always asterisks to it. It's always the best opponent that you've honestly fought was a Tommy Fury. Not as much mileage. Enough world level experience to where he was a live dog in the fight, and you lost that fight. No, I won't say world level experience, but enough pro experience, in which he was a little bit closer to his best years. And you lost that fight. You dropped him nonetheless, but you lost that fight, dog. You lost. And ever since then, you've reverted back to the goofy shit. You reverted back to the Anderson Silvas. You reverted back to the Mike Tysons. You reverted back to the Julio Cesar Chavez's. You've reverted back to them. You dig? And I think, what is it, the WBC? Is it the WBC? That puts you in the top, 20, top 15 in the division. I think they ought to be ashamed of themselves, man, because it is fighters who are working diligently, fighting the best oppositions available for them to, garner the rank that they get, and you go in there and you fight a Julio Cesar Chavez who, after Sergio Martinez just really didn't show much promise and upside. He didn't show none of that shit. It was like, nah, this just ain't it. He's not his dad. He's not his dad. And you gonna pick him of all people, and then not only do you pick him, you get elevated. You get elevated to contender status. When you start getting in the top 20, top 15, now we talking about, okay, yeah, we getting closer and closer to a title shot. You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful, man. It's really disrespectful. Like, how is it that you are in a position to usurp active fighters in this division who's really putting in the road work, all because you beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? I don't like that, man. I don't like that. I don't like that. You beat Mike Tyson, and then they put these names, like you're building a resume. When they give the names on your resume, it's like, bro, you're swindling the people. You're swindling because a simpleton to say, man, he beat Tyson, and there's people who really feel like Mike Tyson threw that fight and he didn't. Now I ask you, could Michael Jordan today beat Hezzy God? Can Michael Jordan beat Devontae Frigga? Can he beat Slim Reaper? And we're not talking about EuroLeague pros. We ain't talking about NBA pros. We're not talking about them dudes. Those are the higher level basketball players. But these are very high level basketball players. They just street ball players. These dudes play at a very high level. They've played with they've played with professionals, and they got busy. They're consistently playing. They playing in leagues. Hezzy guy putting up 100 plus, not a game, but he's played in leagues where he's put up 100 plus points. Could Michael Jordan beat any of them dudes today? No, he can't. He can't fuck with these niggas today, because attrition is a real thing. Attrition is a real thing. So when you talk to me about Jake Paul beating Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson being, he pulling punches because he don't, like, why? When has Mike Tyson ever been known to pull punches? He's never been known to pull punches, bro. I was just on Nuke's Live yesterday, and we was talking about sparring, and they brought up, like, I hate when people say, I hate when people dismiss the importance of sparring and like the story that sparring tells. But I also hate when people use sparring as a testament to how a fight would go on fight night. And I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. You did like you can stay in the middle. You can stay in the middle. But Kevin Rooney would tell his fighters, do not bring your fighter to my gym to spar, because my dude ain't coming to my dude is coming to fight. You dig? He's coming in here to fuck some shit up. So if your man is coming in here to get some work in, he in the wrong gym. Don't even bring him. Because only work he gonna have to, bro. He may as well fight like he's, this fight is going in a win-loss record on his record, dog. That's what Kevin Rooney would tell people. So Tyson has never been the nigga to pull no punches. He's never been the nigga to pull no punches. So when you put him in front of somebody like Jake Paul, it's not that he's pulling punches. He just can't let go of the shots. He's not as explosive as he was when he fought fucking Roy Jones Jr. He's not as explosive. He's not, his instincts are dulled. He's not as explosive with his punches. His movement in general is dulled because he's just aged. You know what I'm saying? He's older. This dude is almost 60 years old, and you think he's in there pulling punches? Like, y'all dudes are really ridiculous with it. And this is the type of fighter that Jake Paul thought that it would be cool to put on his resume. There's, asterisks. As much shit as he talked about Zordo fighting fucking Dorticos, you're forgetting Dorticos is 39 years old. That is not old. It may be old in boxing years. But let's look at do we need to go down the laundry list of older boxers that we have right now? 40-year-old fighters? Natasha Jones is like 41, 42. Still putting in pain. What are we doing, man? Better Biev is 40 years old, man. Like, well, Bud is about to be 38 in September. My age, you dig? So it's like, there's 39 is not, all 39-year-olds are created equal. Like, you're not automatically washed because you're 39 years old. It's just Dorticos is a lot more limited of a fighter than Zordo. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. So you can't sit there and talk about how bad Zordo look. And I've had that argument as well. He better stay away from David and all this dumb shit because he looked like that in there with a 39-year-old former world champion who's still fighting, who's still, contender status. Contender status, which means he's in position for a championship. All he has to do is win the fight. He had a shot at 2 titles, on Saturday. He just couldn't. He's just not more nuanced of a fighter than Zordo. Yeah, I'm like, y'all dudes is a trip, man. Y'all dudes is a trip, bro. And look at the fighters that he's been in there with, bro. He's been in there with Murat Garcia. This is not the Dorticos is not sweet. He's not sweet. He's a big puncher. So for you to sit here and say that Zordo looked a certain way, like he looked, just saying the shit that you were saying about him, it's like, bro, you a different type of individual. And not to mention, you gassed down the stretch with fucking Julio Cesar Chavez, bro. I didn't watch that fight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't watch that fight. I'm cool because this is all circus shit. I was interested in the undercard. I didn't want to see the main event because this is all a circus. This is all a circus. I'm still not a fan of you headlining shows. I'm not a fan of that, even though I understand it because, you're more than likely the more notable name between all of these fighters. They know Jake Paul because of your Disney and your YouTube and all that. A lot of people are more familiar than you than they are with a fucking Zordo Ramirez or a Floyd Schofield and Tevin Farmer. Yeah, that's understandable, but it's still like, god damn, bro. It's kind of insulting. It's kind of insulting. Well, fighters who are headliners are being undercarded by a dude who isn't even a consummate professional. It is insulting. But I get it in retrospect, I get it. Because it's like, the objective is to bring as many eyes to these motherfuckers as possible. And if I'm the main attraction, if my name holds more merit than them as far as marquee value goes, then I bet then just let me be the conduit to bring these other eyes to the sport. Or other eyes to these fighters. So I get it. Even though I don't like it, I get it. But you was not doing nothing with no fucking Zordo Ramirez, bro. And you should not be in a position where you're, entitled contention. Because you beat up Julio Cesar Chavez. You couldn't down Julio Cesar Chavez. You gassed down the stretch with Julio Cesar Chavez. What are you going to do in front of a Ryan Rosinski at CBS? What are you going to do in front of a Badu? You talking about Badu? You calling out Badu? All right, cool. You're not beating no Badu, Jack. You're not beating Badu. You're not beating Dorticos. You're not beating no Jai. You still, how come you never responded to Marriage Breeders when he called you out some years ago? I just think it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to put Jake Paul as a top 10, top 15, top 20 cruiserweight, bro. It's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful because he beat Julio Cesar Chavez. It's hella disrespectful. It's hella disrespectful. Because you have not fought a ranked opponent in them divisions. All of your fights have asterisks to it, bro. All of them. Even the Tommy Fury fight has an asterisk to it. And you lost that fight. You lost that fight. And that dude is a light heavyweight. That dude is a light heavyweight. So you're telling me You're convinced that you can deal with cruiserweights? No, bro. No, you're not beating no cruiserweights. There's not one ranked cruiserweight you're gonna beat in the top 20, top 30, top 40. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening because you ain't beating the top light heavyweights. You're not beating the top super middleweights. The fact that you even entertaining a fight with Tank that's a testament to just you don't belong at this level. You don't belong at this level, bro. You know, just like, and I'll say it again. Your average nigga's not doing shit with Jake Paul. He's not, bro. Jake Paul can legitimately fight. Jake Paul can legitimately fight. But on a world level, like a world championship level, no, he can't. He's not that guy. He is not that guy. Sorry, not fucking sorry. You put that man in there with Zordo if you want to. Let him jump up there and fight Zordo if you want. Okay. Let him jump up there and fight Ja. Let him jump up there and fight Badu. Put his ass in there with a Ryan Rosinski. Put him in there with him. Put them in there with Noel McKaylen. Put him in there, okay? Put him in there with Vidal. Put him in there with Chevy Clark. It's not going to happen because he's not a consummate professional to rival any of these dudes. At some point, if we, I cannot stand with Tank. I can't stand Tank and Ryan, but they have a point when it comes to these belts. They do. Because the motherfuckers who run these sanctioning bodies, like, y'all niggas is some shameless ass niggas. Y'all shameless. You don't put no Jake Paul in there as no top contender because he beat Julio Cesar Chavez. That dude was a swerve, bro. A cokehead. Who sullied his own career. And that dude later on down is how you get taken into deep waters by a fucking Julio Cesar Chavez. Breathing heavy. I saw the highlights, bro. You was getting touched late in the fight. And you couldn't down him. And he got down by Andres Fanfara at 175 pounds. That's when he really knew, yeah, this ain't it. Bro, Danny Jacobs was violating that nigga and he threw in the towel. You couldn't get that man to tap out? Not Chavez, but Paul ain't it, man. He's not it. But he can fight, just not on that level. So shame on y'all for thinking, for putting him in that, for putting him in the top rankings, man. Y'all, that shit actually work, man. Deuces.